By the end of this video, you're going to know the pros and cons of moving to Spain and why so many expats are choosing to leave the country. Now, we're going to look at a really interesting article today, and I'm going to pick bits from it, and I'm going to give my opinion and give my kind of overview of what I've seen while living in Spain. So the article starts by reading, how many expats have left Spain? Recent data shows that between 2002 and 2021, more than 230,000 UK expats have left Spain, with around 31,000 returning back to the UK. Now in 2023, there are around 284 UK expats living in Spain, a decrease from 291,000 in 2022. Whilst there's still a sizable UK immigrant population in Spain, making around 6% of the total population, there's no doubt the numbers are falling. The question then is, why are these expats leaving Spain? Well, there's a few reasons, and I'm sure that the main one that jumps out to me is that since Brexit, UK citizens have had to jump through hoops to be able to stay here. Even people that have been living here for 10-15 years prior to Brexit, but they've not got the papers, still an absolute monumental task to actually get that passed, because the bureaucracy in Spain is so high, and it just drove a lot of expats to just say, we're going home. So is that stat actually a little bit misleading? Well, probably, because without Brexit, the numbers on that would look very, very different. But you tell me what you think. As a Brit, you know, has Brexit affected the amount of time you spend in Spain? Has it affected kind of like your plans that you had to come here or stay here? Let me know in the comments, because obviously I didn't live through that. I wasn't here at the time, so I need your input on that, and I'd be really interested to know, because it's something that kind of we've gone through to get your papers and everything. It's a nightmare. So yeah, I'd be interested to hear your stories. Now the article then goes on to talk about the cost of living and kind of like the increased cost of living. So it reads, cost of living increases have had a major impact on people all over the world. Exactly, including Spain. One of the draws of Spain for expats was the promise of lower cost of living while retaining a good quality of life. While the cost of living in Spain is still around 20% lower than the UK, don't know about that, rising prices mean that people are getting a lot less for their money. This could prompt people to move elsewhere in the world where the cost of living is still low. Now, this is a major one for me to talk about, because living in both countries, I can honestly say that for me at least, because it depends how you live, that the cost of living is quite similar, and it does all depend on what kind of lifestyle that you're leading. But to be honest, you could end up moving to Spain, and depending on what you do, what you eat, where you go, you could end up spending much more in Spain than you would in the UK. And I'm not talking about because you go out more here, I'm talking about kind of living a similar life but just spending more in Spain, because there are things that are a lot more expensive over here. Again, it all depends on where you live, doesn't it? Because if you look at London in the UK, people from London right now will be saying to me, what are you talking about? Spain's so cheap. Well, it is compared to London. But on the other hand, you know, someone living in Barcelona, Spain, and then going to a certain part of England, they'd be like, the cost of living in England is so cheap. So it's important when we compare these things that we compare like similar cities and towns. So now I can do that, right? I can do that. So if I look at where I'm living now in Torre del Mar, and my hometown, which is Southport back in the UK, they're great places to compare. And the reason is, like, they're both large working towns on the outskirts of a city. So my city back home would be Manchester, on the outskirts of Manchester is Southport, and then here, Torre del Mar is on the outskirts of Malaga. Okay, so I'm going to compare a few of the costs just to kind of, you know, break the myth a little bit. Okay, so let's say we look at our apartment here. We have a 3-bedroom apartment that's €900. Now in Southport in the UK, yes, it would be a little bit more. You'd be looking more like €1,100 for the same property. Okay, supermarket shop. Now honestly, this still shocks me to wrap my head around, but I was always told that food groceries are cheaper in Spain. But I'm going to be blunt, groceries are cheaper in the UK. Now listen, I know that you can go to Spanish markets, you can go to the markets here, even down the road, and they're slightly cheaper, but I'm telling you, if you shop in Aldi in the UK, then Spanish supermarkets and even markets, they're not cheaper. It might be on par, but it's not cheaper. The thing is, back home, when we are shopping in like Aldi and places like that, we have so much variety. So for example here, if you want I don't know, baked beans, for example. Well, back home you can get a tin of baked beans for 25 pence because they have so many brands. Here, they don't have the brands. And it's like that with a lot of staple foods. They don't have the competition. One kind of brand comes in and they just put quite a high price on it, whereas in England, you can buy cheap food. Petrol and diesel here and in the UK, largely the same. Electricity and gas costs. Now, it's cheaper in Spain, but not by crazy amounts. You might save €100 a month when you're kind of comparing your gas and electricity costs in both countries. Eating out, cheaper in Spain, a little bit, but by the nature of it, you go out and you spend more because you go out more. But yeah, eating out is a little bit cheaper. Okay, in England you might spend 90, €100 to go out. Here you might spend 60, 70. It's not that much cheaper. Tax is much higher in Spain, especially for low earners. So if you're a pensioner back home, you get €15,000 tax-free allowance. So you can have your whole pension basically tax-free. Whereas in Spain, you get a 5,500 tax-free allowance. So a pensioner in the UK receives significantly less of their pension if they are living in Spain. So the reason I've made all these little comparisons is when you add everything up, it's very easy to end up with less money in Spain than the UK. And I think it's a myth to have more money in Spain than the UK. And potentially what I'm saying is, that's what the article is saying. It's saying that actually people are ending up with less money when they come and live out here. So potentially that's a reason why people are going home. But I don't know. What's your opinion at home? Have you been here? Have you lived here? What do you think about the cost of living compared to back home? Especially if you're a pensioner, I'd be really interested to know, are you better off here or better off at home? Now, the article then moves on to talk about cultural integration being a factor in expats leaving Spain. I mean, I'm going to read you what it says. It says, another issue that impacts expats is cultural integration. This can be an issue faced by expats in all countries, but British expats in Spain especially cite difficulties around navigating cultural differences, communication styles and social etiquette. Yeah, expats may struggle with day-to-day interactions, especially when dealing with their healthcare treatments, where they may require an interpreter. Okay. This can also cause a barrier to forming deep connections with local people, further contributing to feelings of isolation. That last bit I do agree with. I mean, what does it say here? Spain, navigating cultural differences. I mean, realistically, what cultural differences are there between Spain and England that would be like so difficult and hard to wrap your head around? I can't think of any. But yeah, the language one especially, I definitely do think that that causes feelings of isolation. But realistically, only if you're living in a Spanish area, like here in Torre del Mar, it's kind of a Spanish working town. It may be difficult to find friends and integrate here, but really, if you're in Estepona, Marbella, Torrox down the road, it's mainly English speaking anyway. So while I don't actually think it is such a big factor for people moving from here to back home or wherever in the world, it is an interesting topic, and I of course have seen instances of this. For example, I've seen English people trying to order food in their own language to waiters, really can't understand what they're saying, and they get frustrated with the waiter, which is crazy really, because it's like, well, you're in their country and you're getting angry at them because they don't speak your language. But it's a British thing, and the fact that we don't put an emphasis on learning a language, because we assume most of the world speaks English. Now, I wouldn't say it's people's fault. It's not emphasised in schools. It's not emphasised by family. I speak Spanish, but people back home think that's like an amazing superpower. It's like unfathomable to them. But in reality, most Europeans speak at least 2 languages, and because they know that it kind of opens more opportunities to them. I'll be honest, as an English speaker back home, speaking Spanish, does it open more opportunities? Yeah, it does, but not really. Not like it, it's not a deal breaker. The article then goes on and talks about lifestyle changes. It says another reason expats may be leaving Spain is due to their own personal lifestyle changes. Now, I'm just going to take a snippet from the article that brings up a good point, fantastic point really. And it says, similarly, young families might move to Spain and they might find they need to find better educational opportunities or family support networks. This can cause them to either move back home or move to destinations that are known for world-class education. Now, I'm not just talking about education here, but in my opinion, the better opportunities for young people are places like Dubai, Bali, Thailand that offer a great quality of life, tax benefits, especially for digital nomads and entrepreneurs, because it gives you, it's just the tax advantages and the opportunities. If you compare Spain for a young person to Dubai, and they've got a career in whatever, in IT or whatever, the lifestyle and the money that they're going to earn in Dubai, the lifestyle's different, so you can't compare that, but the money they're going to earn, the opportunities they have in Dubai are times 100 that they have here. Again, Dubai, world-class education all around. Yes, you pay for it. World-class healthcare all around. Yes, you pay for it, but you have the money. You have the money. They don't tax you, to within an inch of your life. 20 years ago, also, people did not have these options. They didn't have as many options as they do now. Spain continues to tax people heavily, along with low wages, and I can honestly see a future where not just Spain, but the whole of the Western countries, it's happening. I can see them driving out majority of expats, especially young people. Having said all of this, we chose Spain because of the lifestyle it offers, and in my opinion, it is hard to beat the lifestyle here. The food's great, people are great, sun's shining. I know the sun shines in Dubai, but it's too hot most of the time. We lived there for 2 years, I know this. And on that bombshell, I'll say goodbye, and I'll see you all in the next video. I hope it's been helpful. If it has, drop a like, hit subscribe, drop me a comment. I'll see you all later.